What's up, Eagles Nation? How's it going, NFL world? To all our division rivals, welcome to Gate City Sports Channel. My name is Steven Hyder, and this is the channel where the cerebral NFL fan comes for about 10 minutes of daily content. All right, guys, so this is what I want to do today, this morning. All right, I got my coffee ready. I don't know about the rest of you, but I've recovered from this Jalen Ramsey debacle, and man, I'm ready to talk some football. And what I'm going to do today is I'm going to talk about the state of the NFC East. Okay, so instead of singling out individual teams and making individual content about a single team, I'm just thinking about doing a segment where I'm just going to do the state of the NFC East, maybe on a weekly or bi-weekly basis, and I just kind of review what I think about the divisions. It makes sense for us to be in conversation with one another. All right, y'all. State of the NFC East. Let's get to it.
NFC East. There's 2, 3, and 3 teams. You don't have to take one of those. You can take the 2 and 4 Giants. It's only one game back. Shit, you can take the 1 and 5 Washington football team.
All right, guys. State of the NFC East. Let's start with the Dallas Cowboys, guys. So, Dallas and Philadelphia will meet this Sunday night for the fate of the NFC East, as many have deemed it. Some of the semantics of the game is this. If Philadelphia were to beat Dallas, they would send them on a 4-game slide. However, if Dallas were to defeat Philadelphia, they would go up 3-0 in the division despite a 3-game slide previous to this. That's led many to believe that this could be a nail in a coffin for both teams. I don't tend to agree with that narrative because even if Dallas were to go up 3-0 in the division games aren't over yet. The Giants are improving, and Philly will get another chance at Dallas and Philly. Just as if Philly were to put Dallas into a 4-game slide, unless they really lose heart and completely give up on the season, it's not over. It's still a long season, and there's still only 1 game back with a meeting later on in Philadelphia. I don't see it the same way that some of the pundits see it, but that is the storyline. What I can tell you is that this game, in some ways, is a load of crap. It almost feels like we're playing in the AARP geriatric bowl. Because, to be quite honest, guys, Christ, both of these teams are coming in pretty banged up. Dallas, left tackle, Tyrone Smith. Right tackle, Lyle Collins. Wide receiver, Amari Cooper. Wide receiver, Randall Cobb. Awuzie at the corner position. Byron Jones at the corner position. It's a big mystery who the hell is going to play in this game on both sides of it. Other news with the Cowboys. Jason Garrett has come under fire. There's been reports that he might get the can if he loses this game to Philadelphia. Now, the organization seems to have walked back their comments a little bit, and said, hey, we're not necessarily saying that. We're just saying that we're going to assess everything at the end of the season. Which to me, it sounds like justification to say if he just completely, shits himself, then we're going to just go ahead and do away with him. But even if he limps down the road to mediocrity again, we're just not going to renew his contract. That's what it sounds like to me. Furthermore, we see Dak Prescott being pressured now. And look, I think this is the chance for Dak Prescott to either play the role of the hero or the role of the zero. So we're going to find out a lot on Sunday night about Dallas and Philly. Okay, let's talk about those New York Giants, guys. The Giants currently sit at 2 and 4, and they have been going to bed with visions of sugar plums dancing in their heads. And I'll explain why. To begin, despite losing 2 games in a row, they now sit back just 1 game outside of first place. And they know that Dallas and Philly are playing each other. And while it would be ironic and funny for that game to end in a tie, I doubt it will. So that means either Dallas or Philly is going to fall back into a second-place tie if the Giants are able to take care of business against an Arizona Cardinals team this week. I don't think that's a guarantee, but I do think the Giants should be favored in the game. With that said, the Giants also have renewed energy because as they look at their schedule, they say, hey, we've already played 2 of the harder teams on our schedule in New England and Buffalo, 2 teams that Philadelphia and Dallas has yet to play. In addition, the Giants are starting to feel good about themselves because Saquon Barkley is on his way back. He should be back very soon, and they'll be able to pair him with Daniel Jones. So, right now, the New York Giants fans are feeling like they could be a dark horse candidate for the division. I'm not sure how much I buy into it, but nonetheless, that storyline is out there. And that's the news I really see for the New York Giants for the week. Those Washington Redskins. Wow. Oh, wow. Where do we start, guys? Last week, the Washington Redskins won their first game of the season against the Miami Dolphins by 1 point. They decided not to start Haskins and went with. I don't get it, guys. I don't understand it. They didn't start Haskins and they kept to the same quarterback you've been playing the entire time. Look, man, if you're in contention, I get it. You're not in contention. You're not. If you don't want to play, why would you play Haskins against the Giants and then pull him back against the Dolphins? If you're going to play a rookie quarterback, the Dolphins kind of make a lot of sense to roll him out there against. I mean, why spend a first round pick on a guy when your season's 1-5 at this point? It was 1-4, 1-5, whatever it is at this point, guys, and then not use them? It doesn't make sense to me. I don't get it. I don't understand the decision at all. To me, it's a horrible decision. It makes no damn sense. Further news. Jay Gruden got axed. He got the can. He was fired. Let out the doors. Said bye-bye to. There was a shit show of a press conference that followed that, to where some of the Redskin fans felt that maybe a GM should put on a tie and maybe wear a collar. Maybe not look like you just came back from an outing of golf. I don't know that kind of shit really matters, but Washington Redskin fans seem to have felt like that mattered. In addition, who did they elevate to the head coach position? Callahan, who hasn't been very good in that position. Not necessarily with the Redskins, but he's been a head coach in the league before, and it didn't turn out so good. I don't think Washington has any kind of a weird vision of retaining him as their head coach unless he went on some kind of a crazy-ass hot streak here. But nonetheless, it's not a good situation for them right now. Furthermore, what in the hell was that shit last night about Trent Williams? At one point, it seemed like Trent Williams had been traded to the Cleveland Browns, which would have made a lot of sense since Cleveland desperately needs offensive line help. On the other hand, apparently, later on in the evening, the Washington Redskins then walked back that report and said, hey, there is actually no deal in place, and denied the report. It's just a week in Washington Redskins football, guys. I don't even know how to explain this. This is just crazy to me. But it's Washington. What can you say, guys? All right. Philadelphia Eagles, guys. Philadelphia Eagles. Look, tensions are running high in Philly right now. Suffering a humiliating loss to the Vikings. That sucked. That sucked a lot. With that said, I don't think things are lost for the Eagles, man. I think that was an anomaly. And look, I'm not scared of playing Minnesota in the playoffs. That they don't bother me, even at home. Look, I know there were a lot of people who were really pissed off about certain events that took place in the game. Some of them are indefensible. I cannot defend that damn decision to pass the ball on a attempted field goal. It made no sense because Peterson tried to make some weird comment about he could have gotten out of bounds and saved the. Looking at the play, there was no fucking way that was going to happen. If you're going to go for it, no one's going to knock you for going for it and being aggressive. However, keep your offense on the field and go for it. Put it in the fucking end zone. I don't know, guys. That seemed like a head coach being a little too cute with himself there. All right, we already talked about there's a major showdown between 2, 3, and 3 teams, Dallas and Philly. I'm excited for that Sunday night game. I think it's going to be a good game. Philadelphia seems to be finally getting a little bit of health back on the defensive side of the football, with Ronald Darby and Jalen Mills are definite returns, it looks like, for this week. We got Camus Grugier-Hill back recently. So that's 2 levels of the defense that we've got players returning that were important and vital to our success. In addition, it looks like by the bye week, hopefully we should have back players like, Cravion LeBlanc, Malik Jackson, Tim Jernigan. Those type of ball players should be back. I got to tell you, I was a little disappointed when I heard that Jalen Ramsey had been traded and wasn't to Philadelphia, but I didn't really lose my shit over something like that because, yeah, it's disappointing because I didn't think that he would be dealt. And then when I found out that he was dealt to the NFC to a team that's trying to contend, I was like, well, shit, that kind of sucks a little bit because he's a good ball player. Now, I'm going to tell you, I don't think Jalen Ramsey is the only way that we upgrade this pass defense. I think it can be done by getting an elite, defensive end, getting an elite, pass rusher. I think it can even be accomplished by just getting an adequate third or fourth defensive end to come in here and play. We can also go out and go get a plethora of corners that would upgrade what we have currently on the roster. I'm not going to question Howie Roseman's job at this point, like some of you guys are doing, just because you got to give the man a chance to do his job. He missed out on Jalen Ramsey, and that sucks. I still have faith that he's going to address the situation. Now, if the trade deadline goes by and he makes no effort to address either the pass rush or the corner play, and then we go into a tailspin, by all means, let's all start screaming. If he can't make a serious push for the Super Bowl and he decides to just walk through the season with what he's got, then I think it's time to question him because personnel is his responsibility. And I don't think Joe Douglas is. I've heard some content creators saying, "Oh, we can't do shit without Joe Douglas." Joe Douglas was here for those draft picks too, and yeah, they weren't so good. Joe Douglas also made some pretty sketchy personnel decisions in free agency. He made some great ones. He made some sketch ones. Just like if you go back to the 2016 draft where Howie Roseman was running that draft board, I thought he made some not so great picks, and he made some holy shit that was a good pick. The balls and the brass it took for him to move up from 13th to 8th and then 8th to 2 to go get Carson Wentz, who, by the way, is still, from what I understand, the highest drafted FCS football player ever. That takes cojones. Look, that aggressive nature gets you Carson Wentz. That aggressive nature gets you Sidney Jones. It sucks, man. You hit sometimes, you miss sometimes. I'm here to say I think he missed just a little bit, just a hair, just by a hair. I think he missed by a hair on that one. I think the Sidney Jones pick for me, for all y'all that are screaming about Howie Roseman and what's going on with his draft prowess, I think the reason we're so pissed off about that pick is just because had Howie Roseman just taken what was on the board, there were a lot of running backs that we could have taken starting in 2017 that are on NFL rosters now and that are pretty damn good running backs. The board was open for a lot of those players. To me, I don't think the Eagles were that invested in Sidney Jones. I think they were intrigued by Sidney Jones, but I think they had their heart set on Christian McCaffrey in the first round. When he got taken in the top 10, that screwed them. So they went with Derek Barnett. And in the second round, I think they went at Dalvin Cook. But when Dalvin Cook went just a couple of spots ahead of them, they went secondary. They went, defense again in the secondary and drafted a guy that they thought had high upside to him once the injury passed. That he was a top 15 talent. Now we all know that was complete and utter bullshit. But, risk is risk, guys. Risk is risk. That's all I can say. All right, y'all. This is This Week in Philadelphia Sports. The other thing to keep an eye on, guys, is I'm not sold on the health of Deshaun Jackson. I'm hoping because if he ain't healthy, we got a major problem on our hands with extending and stretching the field. Carson's going to have to learn how to tuck it and run a little bit and press these guys up on him to respect the quarterback's athleticism. We can't stretch the field with a receiver. That's it, guys. That's This Week in Philadelphia. I'm going to keep observing and watching that Deshaun Jackson piece, guys, because, man, I hope he comes back in the next couple of weeks, either starting possibly with the possibility of Sunday, which I think is a bit of a stretch, but over these next couple of weeks following that. Let's hope by week 9 he's back in Eagles green. All right, y'all. You know what time it is. Like, comment, and subscribe. Y'all tell me what you think. What do you guys think about this NFC East? What do you guys think about the division? A lot of people are shitting on the division. Y'all tell me what you guys think. All right, y'all. It's time to do that little chant we do here in Philly. E-A-G-L-E-S. Let's go, Eagles.